Antifa Man Quantumania is the latest pile of garbage from the MCU. I'm sorry. Did I say garbage? I meant film, or at least whatever Disney thinks passes as a film. Ant-Man Quantum Woody is a movie about activism, an old man screaming for socialism, the woman who is the key to everything, and Rachel Maddow. I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. Nope, I think I got everybody covered. Ant-Man Quantum Leap is being review bombed by critics. I'm guessing those Disney checks are bouncing. And for some reason is receiving a passing score by the audience. In reality, this number should be much lower, like maybe 50%, 60% if I'm being generous, which I'm not. Alternatively, the reason why the audience score is as high as it is could be the fact that the people who don't give a shit about the MCU anymore, they're not showing up, and therefore, they're not rating it, which is reflected by the opening box office numbers. Ant-Man Quantumania is not exactly having a stellar opening weekend. It's roughly 80 million less than Wakanda Forever or Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Unnecessary Sequels. Oh wait, I forgot She-Mam in the Masters of the Microverse. She plays a pivotal role in this movie. How could I possibly have forgotten her? My bad. Now, there are some things I have major issues with this film. Cassie Lang is arrested at the beginning of the film for protecting a homeless camp because the cops are showing up trying to remove the homeless from a park. Now, as we all know, this would never happen in London Breeze, San Francisco. Those homeless would stay exactly where they are because San Francisco doesn't give a shit unless it's on the streets. And let's be honest here, Pete, California is a pile of human feces with a heroin needle and a pride flag hanging off of it. I find all this terribly ironic because back in 2021, Hollywood went and kicked a bunch of homeless out of a homeless encampment so they can go and have their Oscar ceremony. Great job, Hollywood. Way to practice what you preach. But my real issue is the pro-socialist message that is being pushed by this movie. In the third act, Hank Pym says, and I quote, "I know socialism is a charged word, but we can learn a lot from these ants. Who needs individuality and freedom when you can be a mindless consuming drone?" It looks like Disney has gone and shed its pro-social justice messaging in favor of one that is pro-communism. Well, provided that you view the two things as being different, which they're not. And it's no secret that Disney has been courting the big bucks from China. However, the majority of Phase 4 has been boycotted by China, which is probably the reason why they've been switching up their messaging. After all, movies aren't made for Americans anymore. And nothing says we love social justice like thanking a province that is notorious for housing a Muslim minority in a camp where you go and concentrate really hard. And it looks like Disney has finally managed to weasel their way back into China, albeit probably not the outcome that they were hoping for. But Comix Division, this is supposed to be a review. What are your thoughts on the movie? Okay, fine. Now, if I had to go and sum up Butt Plug Man Anal Mania in one word, it would be... That's right. It stinks, and quite frankly, it just makes you want to leave the room. And whoever made it should be ashamed of themselves. The freshness date on the MCU has pretty much expired. And what we're getting with Phase 5 is gastrointestinal discomfort. The easiest way of summing up the current state of the MCU is, there are no stakes, and there are no consequences for people's actions. All you have to do is take a look at the blip. Oh, that's right, I'm sure everyone has pretty much forgotten about it, because there is no actual impact on the universe at large. We are talking about a cataclysmic event that should have ramifications that ripple throughout the MCU. But no, it's nothing more than just a joke and an afterthought. So, what exactly is this movie about? Well, while Janet Van Dyne was trapped in the quantum realm, she meets this dude named Kang. You might remember him from the Loki TV series, provided that you even watched it. Wee Whiz Kang goes and promises her that if she goes and helps him rebuild his multiversal power core, he'll help her escape the quantum realm. But because plot, Janet finds out, as the president would say, Kang is a bad dude. Because he went around and destroyed a bunch of worlds, so she goes and turns on him. Typical woman. So she goes and destroys his quantum molecular multi-tool thingamajig, trapping herself in Kang. So I got a question. If this version of Kang is like the Dave Mustaine of Kangs, why did they fire him from the band rather than going and killing him? And for those of you who don't get the reference, Dave Mustaine was too hardcore for Metallica when it comes to drugs and alcohol, so they got rid of him. Much like this version of Kang. That just doesn't make any sense. Again, I'm sure the writers didn't exactly think this one through.
But Comix Division, if they killed Kang, we wouldn't have a story.
Shut up, retarded MCU stan! Expect better writing from your franchises. When I go watch a movie, I expect it to make sense. Well, for the most part. Or at the very least have some form of plausible deniability matrix. But I guess I'm asking too much. And not just accept things for what they are. Garbage. Meanwhile, back at the present, Janet Van Dyne doesn't bother telling anybody anything about Kang, and the fact that he can go traipsing through the multiverse destroying worlds. You think that would be the first thing you would tell people because that sounds like a potential threat. But no. I'm guessing because plot or incompetence. Take your pick. Anyway, Cassie Lang goes and invents some sort of Hubble telescope that can go and look into the quantum realm. Because of course she can. This is the MCU after all. Janet, realizing that this whole thing was a mistake, tells Cassie to go and shut the device down because bad things are gonna happen. And they all get sucked into the quantum realm. And then a bunch of things happen. And then the movie ends. And then the audience leaves the theater disappointed.
But Comix Division, you forgot about Scott Lang, the Ant-Man.
You know what? So did the movie. I think it's pretty safe to say that the MCU magic at this point is dead. It died with Thanos, Captain America, and Iron Man. Did I mention that this phase has Kang?
And more Kang? And even more Kang?
Jesus Christ, I think a lobotomy would be less painful at this point. Anyway, that's all I got for tonight. If you like this review, I suggest you go and check out my video where I go and make fun of the Eternals. I mean, where I go and review the Eternals. It's basically the same thing. You might be entertained, or you might not. Who knows at this point? Hurry up, time is running out, click the damn thing.